This past month in January, I've been working on a project that started really quite a long time ago now. I was meant to have the first draft done by the end of December, but instead the new goal shifted a little bit till the end of January, and I was really falling behind, and I just knew that I needed to get this done and that I needed to find new ways to motivate myself to do it. Now, obviously, one of my favorite writing tips is that if it's hard or difficult or not fun, then there's probably something wrong there. But for me, it was just kind of that last little stretch where there were a few scenes that I just really couldn't be bothered to write. I know that sounds bad, but all in all, I really did enjoy writing like the first 3/4 of this book, and then this is something that I really didn't want to give up on, so I just had to get through this last little bit. So for pretty much every week in January, I tried something new. I tried something I'd not done before, just in a weird, unhinged attempt to get to the end of the draft. And you know what? It worked. The draft is messy and it's all over the place, but you know what? A first draft is a first draft. So we got there in the end. But now I have these 5 different ways to kind of switch up how you write and try to beat that writer's block, or just to write even more than usual. So let's just get into it. Number 1, and this one actually was the most effective for me this January, and that was setting yourself the goal of writing every day, but change the amount per day. And what I mean by this is one Sunday I sat down and I looked at the week ahead and I wrote down really specific word count targets for each day. So it looked something like Monday I'm going to write 200, Tuesday I'm going to write 1005, Wednesday I'm going to write 720, etc. And I don't even know what it was, but this was so effective for me. It's like it made word counts and targets fun. It made hitting hard goals way more enjoyable. It made it not funny, but like amusing. I hit that word count goal every day for a week. And I think that week I got up my word count by like 3,000 or 4,000, which I know may not sound like a lot, but at the time it was very necessary. And if I hadn't done that, I don't think I would have reached that word count. There is definitely something that can be said for, saying you're going to write 500 words every day or 200 words every day, or just you're going to write every day. But when it's kind of the same thing every day, I don't know, maybe that just gets a little bit boring, and maybe that's why we struggle to hit it sometimes. Setting really specific and random amounts just kind of made it really rewarding for me for some reason. Number 2, and this is not technically directly related to writing, but this is to change up your environment. And the way that I did this is I rearranged my furniture. Now, this was a long time coming because I wanted to move my sofa to where it is now so that I could have the natural light to record these videos. But I just kind of never got around to doing it. I don't know what it was. It was like a chore that I kept putting off. But when I said, no, I need to do this to switch up the environment for my mindset for writing, that's when I kind of finally did it. And what that resulted in is it kind of felt like, you know how when you go out to a cafe or to the library to write and you're so much more motivated and you're so much more inspired because other people around you are working and you just really get in the mindset? First of all, it really felt like that, which obviously really helped. Second of all, it kind of went hand in hand with me starting my new morning routine, which is where I write in the mornings and I wake up early enough before work to be able to write. And there was something about where I've put my table now, where I have my laptop set up on it to write, something about the thought of it's like in the corner. I'm not going to show you, but the monitor and the laptop are in the corner. I've got my nice big second monitor as a second screen, and it's like tucked away in the corner, but it also has the window right in front of it with like the natural light coming in. In the mornings, I sit there with my blanket and my hot drink and my breakfast, and it's really cozy and cute. And if I open the window, it's still dark, and there's something about it being dark outside and feeling like you're getting ahead while the rest of the world is asleep. Anyway, I know that's getting a bit off topic now, but just think about your environment, because if you don't have a space where you feel comfortable to write or you feel inspired to write, that may well be the problem. And if you have to be as unhinged as me and literally rearranging your whole room or all of your furniture, then I say do it. In moving my furniture, I also got to dusting and cleaning places that obviously had been covered up by the furniture before, and then cleaning made me feel like my mindset was clear and everything was clear, my space was clear. I don't know, there's something about moving furniture. Maybe this is just a me thing, but if you haven't tried it before, maybe now's your chance. Number 3, abandon your project. Abandon what you're working on. And I know this feels counterintuitive. I know you're going to say, Sarah, there is no point in doing that. If we're trying to get to the end of this draft, why are we abandoning it? And you're right, we're not abandoning it completely. We're just moving away to give ourselves a bit of space, a bit of breathing space, and a bit of time to just sort of recalibrate how our brain is working and thinking about our projects. And while we're abandoning it, we're not gonna completely stop writing at all. We're just gonna go and write something completely different, whether that's a different genre or a different style, or go back to another project that you already have that you're working on. And although in the back of your mind, you know you're going to come back to this project, for right now, I want you to think that's it. We're done with this project. Don't even think about it. Don't look at your planning document. Don't look at your little notebook that has all your ideas in it. Don't think about it. Just let yourself move away from it and give yourself space. This is effectively what happened with, the draft I was talking about that I was working on in January. Because I started it so long ago, it got to a point where I was like, I needed to just stop and move away. And when I came back to it after a few months, I suddenly had so many different ideas of where the story could go, so many different ideas of what I needed in the plot for it to be good. And suddenly I could see how this book could be what I wanted it to be to begin with, even though I had struggled for so long with just it not feeling right. So go ahead, abandon that project. Number 4, I actually didn't try this one myself, but I have seen this previously all over Instagram and all over like the writing advice side of socials, which is to change up the format of your document. I've seen specifically, I think it was changing your font to Comic Sans. Is that the font? And for some reason, this helped people to write, which I've actually never tried. And honestly, the next time I get into a rut or a writing block, I'm probably going to try this. So there's that one specific font, but you could also, I don't know, change up so your background is blue and your text is orange. Or I've even seen people who change their text to white on a white background. So, they can see the word count going up and they know that they're typing, but they can't go back and edit. So you have progress, but it's almost like a mystery. Obviously not a complete mystery because you know what you've written, but you can't edit as you go along. You can't go back and look for references. You're just writing, free writing, and not really caring about what you're writing. And that is the purpose of the first draft, to be fair. So I think this one could be really, really fun. Again, not really tried myself, but it will be the top of my list when I get around to it next time. Number 5, my final one, back to something that I have done, which is recording voice notes or saying it out loud or practicing the dialogue with someone else. That last one I haven't done, but like the recording voice notes and speaking your text out loud, I have done. And let me say, this one is really, really interesting. I am someone who's quite comfortable kind of talking to a mic, talking to a camera. Like, it doesn't feel weird to me anymore. So I don't really have a problem with recording voice notes in that sort of manner. But if you're not someone who makes content and you're not particularly comfortable and you don't really do this a lot, I think this could be a really, really interesting one to try out. This is almost an even more stripped back version of a first draft than a regular first draft is, because it's just taking the thoughts directly from your head, exactly what you're thinking, and just kind of dumping it into a voice note, dumping it into a document. Once again, it means you can't edit whilst you're thinking about it. It's literally just the first thoughts that pop into your head. And I think a lot of the time, writer's block does come from perfectionism. So if we just kind of completely take that out of the equation, this one I could definitely see could help you make progress the fastest and finally get you out of that rut. So those are my 5 slightly unhinged ways that you could try and get over writer's block. I've never really tried any of these before, again, this last month. So it was really fun to try some of these out and just to kind of brainstorm ways that you can try and get over it, which aren't the kind of traditional ways. If you have any more unhinged ways, please drop them in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for getting to this point in the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.